message from Sheets saying he didn't know if he'd be here tonight. I actually thought it was for tomorrow, but I guess it might be for tonight. He said out for recording tomorrow, so we'll see if Sheets shows up. I'm going to go through a little bit of what I'm doing. Pretty much a similar slate that it was earlier. Let me just grab it up here, and we will go from there. Appreciate you guys all for being here. Please click the like button and subscribe, all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. I hate doing those things, but it is what it is. All right, so let's talk about this. Zach Collins, I'm not playing many lineups tonight. Zach Collins, let's just say you really thought he was going to be 50% owned. I would have 80%. The thing is, Barlow is a really interesting pivot at 20%. So between those guys, I really think I'm playing one in every single lineup. That's very, very basic. If I was playing a bunch, in my one lineup, I probably play Collins. Okay, I have Kyle Anderson tagged here. I'll just go through my core. I think that Naz Reid is the tournament play of the day. Now, you can play him with Kyle Anderson, but I think it's an interesting play to play without Kyle Anderson. So also Kyle Anderson may not start. So let's wait for news before we decide on this. Let's absolutely wait. I love Cade Cunningham. I think the projection's a little bit low. I like the situation. Also like Mikal Bridges. It feels better to spend $7,600 on Cunningham to me than it does to Bridges when I'm thinking about upside. So that's where I'm at. I'm not going to play all of these guys together necessarily, but Keldon Johnson and one of Zach Collins or Dominic Barlow will be in all my lineups as of right now. One of Kyle Anderson or Naz Reid will be in all my lineups as of now. Mikal Bridges, I think, is a good play, but not a must. I personally prefer the Cade play over him, just considering the ownership. But I do think both are really strong plays, and that's where my core is. The places to get different. I love Jimmy Butler. Like, again, not the same performer on the road. I would just encourage anybody to look at a Jimmy Butler game log. Since like Miami needed to start winning, he's been unbelievable. So I like Jimmy Butler at low ownership. I also like Bam, but those are two plays to get a little bit different with. I also like Jokic and Murray. I'm not getting to them as much in my builds just because I have so much Cade. I'm wondering if I want to shift some of that Cade over to Jamal Murray. Again, not playing much tonight, but just deciding. In the late game, I love De'Aaron Fox here. I could argue that he should be a priority play. The back-to-back worries me a tiny bit after 39 minutes. Sabonis played a bunch too. I do expect these guys to probably get there, but if there's a blowout, I think they'll come off the court, which leads me to my other favorite play, which is going to be Anthony Edwards. He's getting ownership. Again, I understand, but if you play like an Edwards, Jimmy Butler, you get the 8K guys. Other Sheets, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Just some technical difficulties here.
No problem. When I got your message, I saw that it said TM, so I figured tomorrow, but I thought there was an outside chance you may have misclicked and it was a TN. So
no,
for sure.
No, I'm good. I just need to. I was having trouble loading Chrome on this computer, so I had to remote into another computer just so I can get lineups in, just in case there was an issue. What's news? Anything to report?
Nothing is news, and honestly, knock on whatever, I don't really expect, unless there's something out of the blue. Like, I mean, there's really nothing that I'm looking at that's extremely, there. Let me stop my share so you can do your thing. There we go.
Yeah.
They're not here for me anymore, Sheets. They used to be here for me, and you were my sidekick. Now I'm your sidekick. This is where we are.
As you would say, I don't want to hear it.
I know you hate to hear it, but I just want to make you feel uncomfortable for a minute before we get into all of it.
Yeah, so all these nets look good, right? I presume still.
Yeah, I think
let's go backwards. Zach Collins still looks good, right? I mean,
so Zach Collins. So like the guys I like, my core guys, I'll have, like I was saying before you got here, I think I'll have Zach Collins, and if I don't have him, I'll have Barlow. One of those two will be in every lineup I make.
Yeah, what's that all about? The Barlow play.
He's the backup big.
Oh,
and he's an incredible point per minute producer. It's just his minutes are totally suspect. Like he doesn't play most of the time. So he might only play like 18 minutes. He could probably still, if he has a good game, get to 30. There's also some blowout risk here with no Wemby, and Sacramento's on a back-to-back. So I'm not, maybe it's a little bit lessened, but I think you start with Collins and Keldon Johnson. And then everything else is sort of up for grabs for them. If you're not going to play Collins, I would play Barlow. I think it's pretty straightforward. I actually think Barlow will have a pretty decent ownership. I would not play Barlow and Collins together. I know it'll work on some slates. I just don't think that's the right way to play using two spots. They actually might combine for 60 at 7,300. But even still, I don't know if that's the right use of two spots. That's what I was trying to decide today. Go ahead.
I'll throw a random question in. Do you like any Jalen Wilson from Brooklyn?
I think it's an interesting tournament stab. Yes. So depends on what you're asking me. Like if I'm playing one lineup, am I going to play Jalen Wilson? Probably not. But I don't mind it. And I do think I would probably have like 30% if I was playing multiple.
Oh, so he's like an actual play. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm like running builds now. I'm getting to him, and I didn't think about him at all until I just saw him on the build. That's the only reason I.
Yeah. Jalen Wilson and Trenton Watford, and this is like I've been.
Oh, we get that dude. He finally gets to play Trenton Watford.
This is the night I mind him the least of it. Every other night I was right. I'm just gonna say, but this night is the night where I think you could play him.
Okay.
I really like the idea of going Naz Reid instead of Kyle Anderson. We don't have a starting lineup for that game yet, so that's going to dictate some stuff. But right now, Naz Reid is getting basically no ownership projection.
Yeah, I don't understand that actually.
I do because so in general, he benefits more from Gobert being out than Cat. Okay.
Oh, okay. Right.
And the problem is, I want to play him, and one guy he negatively correlates with, although it's still a great number, and they're playing Indiana, is Anthony Edwards, because they can both be the usage guy. Kyle Anderson is a game flow in the middle of the things. He's dictating stuff, but sort of a point forward, but / like I can also not be seen for 7 possessions in a row. Nobody's going to notice it. That will never happen with Naz Reid and Anthony Edwards. So I like those. I like the Naz Reid as a pivot off of Kyle Anderson. I do like Kyle Anderson. I think it's really confusing when I try to think of all the scenarios. Would I play them together? I just don't think I will. I think you can. I think it could work out great. It's sort of similar to the other one I was using with the San Antonio, but I just don't think they work out well together. But the thing is, nobody is playing Naz Reid. So I really like that. I really like these, get a little, and Kyle Anderson, we've seen, like, I love Kyle Anderson, but there's also a world where he gets like 12 fantasy points and barely plays tonight. Like this happens with Minnesota. We've seen it before. But Naz Reid, at least if he gets minutes, is going to put up numbers. It just happens every time. So I like the idea of that pivot. I still do like Kyle Anderson, but I like the idea of a Naz Reid pivot. And he's not, like, the thing is, what's going to happen is, like, anyone who was going to play, like, he's probably not going to start. But the truth is, neither of them may start. I still think they're both the same plays. Like, and I love Anthony Edwards. I love this 8K range sheets tonight. I love that. Actually, like some of this. I love Cade and Mikal Bridges in the 7Ks. And in the 8Ks, I love Edwards, I love Fox, and I love Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is my favorite. Get different. The problem I have is the guy seems to only score fantasy points at home. Like, seriously, going back for a while now. But on the road in a tough game, I feel like this is a good spot. I'm just probably gonna do it. The Lonnie Walker thing, I think, is too high of ownership. I'm willing to do it if he's starting. If he's not starting, I probably like the play better. You know, like,
Okay.
I just think it's like maybe you end up with, like, what I would say is, like, set yourself to 40% Lonnie Walker. And if he's not starting, leave it, you know? But if he's starting, he's going to be like 50, 60%. I'm fine with that 40%. And if he's not starting, I would probably leave it and he's going to be like 15, 20%.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with some nights. I had a brain issue just happened, so I have to just deal with it. Just some bank thing. Hold on.
What happened?
No, I just had a bank issue, which I just I just did something stupid. Not a big deal. So I have to deal with something.
You scared me with the bank issue. Look, this is personal trauma sheets. You're missing.
It's my fault.
You're messing with my personal trauma. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just messing around. I'm going to answer. Hey, Jason, I love it. That's actually a good. I love it. Jimmy Buckets is from the Dallas area. Another little narrative. Let's throw Jimmy Buckets in there. And you know what? It takes a lot of balls to play Jimmy Butler over De'Aaron Fox tonight. But you know what? I've got some balls. Like, why not? Let's play Jimmy Butler over De'Aaron Fox.
I'm down.
I love De'Aaron Fox. I love him tonight. He should but he played 39 minutes last night. Jimmy Butler from the area. Maybe Sacramento blows them out. Let's go. And this is like the opposite of every other night. Like, honestly, forward/guard eligible players are better than forward, power forward, shooting guard. They're all great. You don't need the all point guards and center lineups tonight, in my opinion. So what are you working on there that's going to make it all the money? Because I'm talking and you're the one who always wins. So,
well, I'm just working on reversing this $5,500 charge that I screwed up to something else.
All right, I'll keep going if you want me to. I can.
Yeah. So we're not waiting on any news. So I'll just tell you what I did. I mean, I just ran my projections and I ran the Sims for now. I'm usually just in kind of auto mode right now. I didn't really make any big changes, but I think I'm considering the thing that you just said, like the Butler play. I really kind of like
it. No?
What?
He's been good to us.
He's been good to everybody, you know, like.
No, but I bet you percentage-wise, if we took our whole time playing DFS, we've made like more money off Jimmy Butler than most players.
I think you have. I'm always the one that gets the 30. You know,
all right, maybe
or better. Or sometimes I never forget one time he got 5.5x for me, and it took him double overtime to get there. I remember that happened once.
Look, it's a risky thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't play guys like this as chalk in general, but like, you got a guy who basically is putting up 50 every night in a tight game on the road against a bad defense where he's from, and he's projected at 42 fantasy points. I call bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? I think I kind of call bullshit myself.
I think the median should be around 47, 48. I really do.
By the way, you know what you haven't you know what's missing?
What's that?
Which you haven't done yet. The thing that I always say I don't want to hear about it yet. You haven't asked how my golf's doing.
See, it's too early, Sheets. I don't want to hear about it yet.
I know, but I finally have something good to say.
This is the problem now. So if you talked to me 2 hours ago, I was up like 190,000 in golf. No joke.
Dude, but this is like your man. It's like your pick is Shane Lowry.
The Shane Lowry. Let's go.
So this is what we got. So we're in first place in the qualifier.
Oh, I love to see this.
And I'm in like 14th in the spring trap and 11th in the signature hole. So we're humming. And
I'd love to see that. That's beautiful.
And this thing, the championship one, I got Fleetwood, but I think he should be okay. You know what I mean?
He'll be totally fine. Also, I had a call with Kenny today about this. It's kind of getting stupid that, like, one thing, I have a very basic overall strategy for golf that I'm going to start using way more than I have. It's going to be not manual like I've been doing it. Putting players not in the same tee, but within 30 minutes of each other, because weather, especially in Florida, is so unpredictable. And in the afternoon, no matter what, it's going to play so much harder just because of the way the ball is bouncing. Yeah, Lowry had a great round in the afternoon. Look at everybody else. They're all from the morning. Everything's soft and easy. It's a whole different course. And I just really think, like, if you can try to load that up with your low owned guys and try to get the better end of the weather, I think you're on a good path. Yeah,
well, because I think the cut is if you're within 10 shots of the lead, that's good enough. So you have to think that even though it looks scary, like a Fleetwood at T49, like technically only 50 guys, but he's within like freaking 7 strokes. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, Tommy Fleetwood is totally fine. I played 5 lineups in the showdown tomorrow, and he is in every one of them.
Oh, that's good.
He played the late afternoon slate. He's gonna have the early morning, and also it's the same thing that happens all the time. I also played that guy Valimaki because his second rounds, for whatever reason, he hasn't played these courses before ever, and he literally, his second round numbers are the best. He's the best player on tour in the second round.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm changing it all up. I did after waste management, I haven't had any alcohol, and now I'm having an alcohol beverage. I'm trying to change it up just to, like, I'm only playing one major lineup. I'm mixing around some other things tonight, but like, I really just want to focus on how can I win and not keep making these mistakes. And I think that some of it has been bad luck, and I think some of it has been some mistakes on my part. But I really like the idea of taking stands. And I'm going to be happy to lose 80% of the time with a Jimmy Butler over De'Aaron Fox tonight. But when Jimmy Butler outscores him and De'Aaron Fox is 35% owned like he was last night, which he will be again, and Jimmy Butler is 7% owned, and Jimmy Butler scores 58 and they blow him out and De'Aaron Fox scores 30, I'm going to make all the money.
Right.
I can't complain about variance when I've decided to embrace the variance, you know?
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So who did you end up with the most of in golf, by the way?
Minwoo Lee.
Same here. He did great. Like, a great start.
But I played him. I was really, really smart about it, I think. I played Minwoo Lee the most. I have 0 of him in big buy-ins.
See, I think so. I was going to do that, but then I decided to play him with, and I knew this is my problem, you know, with a lot of other things. This is my problem with Shane Lowry right now, because my Shane Lowry is my 7th highest owned player, and my 5th highest owned is Kurt Kitayama, but I played them together because the same price.
Okay.
So that really is disturbing. Kurt Kitayama, I don't know if you saw it, but he was like 8 over through 10. He ended up 6 over. He's barely. If he can make the cut, it would be a miracle. So unfortunately, that kills a lot of my Lowry lineups. But at the same time, wait, there was a positive to this part of it. I forgot what it was because I'm still tilted about that part of it. Now I lost it. This is what happens. One kombucha, and I get like drunk now, apparently. Oh, and also that's what I did. No, I realized what I did. I played where I played Minwoo. I played Van Rooyen, but I made sure to spend down on a third person, which is, of course, gives you Scheffler and Rory and all that stuff. I'm not worried about the first round scores for those guys. Those guys will be totally fine. But I played Minwoo with Van Ruyen and CT Pan. I have 20% CT, 22% CT Pan, and he's like 6K. He's 1 under, but he's 6K and 1 under, and that's a good start.
Absolutely. So I really don't have much else to say. I mean, like, let's see what I have in fan. I have like all the Zach Collins, and then Kyle Anderson, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Michael Bridges, De'Aaron Fox, Edwards. Is that particularly earth-shattering? I don't know. Jalen Wilson, I mentioned. On FanDuel, I'm just playing the lottery there. It's like the big tournament's too big.
Yeah.
So I'm not playing that. And I didn't see anything between that and the lottery. So I'm just going to play the lottery over there.
Yeah.
So on FanDuel, I don't have as much Kelly O as I did earlier, although I'm still getting like 50% of it. But I'm getting all this Lonnie Walker again.
Yeah. Again, let's see if Lonnie Walker starts.
Let's see.
That's my big thing. But at the same time, they are missing it's an absurd number of people they're missing. At the same time, it's Brooklyn. We've seen this.
And what about this?
Keldon Johnson is 40. To answer Jason's question and people who are going to ask about Keldon Johnson, I honestly don't care what the result is. These are not plays that I'm going to overthink. It is very basic. I don't care whether he starts. I don't care what the situation is. I will play Keldon Johnson in any big buy-in lineup I have tonight. The only way I wouldn't is if somehow like a lineup construction led me differently, which I can't imagine happening. It's on DraftKings, it's a 4,900 play that could easily be 59, and I would still be playing probably in all my lineups. It's like a 50 potential without if you don't play him, you might lose. That's how I.
So I have an interesting trip report. I tweeted about it, but I figured it's like amazing to me what happened. So I had to. We have a car that the lease was up in like 3 months, and the Toyota Camry. We're paying just like $350 a month or whatever, but we don't need the car anymore. And they always say, oh, what your options or whatever it is for returning the lease. And the thing is that there's like no miles on it. It's very, very few miles. So I figured that maybe like the payout, it was worth paying for than like trying to resell it somehow. It's usually you just forget it, just like return it, whatever. But I thought it was kind of worth a little bit of the effort. So I looked into it, and there was an $18,600 payout. That's how much we were supposed to, that's how much it would cost us to buy it. So I said, when there was all these sites saying, oh, see what your car is worth. I'm like, okay, scam, whatever. But I did it anyway. I put it in there, and it says, for a free no frills offer, click here. I'm like, fine, right? So they sent me something saying 24,000, right? And here's and it's an asterisk. Must conform to this, must conform to this. It has to be exactly what you said or whatever it is. And you can make a reservation at CarMax to get it looked at. Now, I had heard of CarMax before, but I've never experienced it or whatever it is. It's this big super shop of you could buy stuff there, sell stuff there, service, this huge corporation there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go whatever. So I made the appointment. I was completely prepared for all the vagaries that were going to happen to me. Like, first of all,
wait, can I interject for a second? It's amazing you didn't get this is how I get hacked by actually doing these kind of things.
Right. So first, you know what you're going to expect. First, well, you know what? There's a piece of dirt on the tire, so it's an extra 2,000, or this plus fees, sundries, whatever it is, and I was prepared for it. I in my head said if I walk out of there basically with like $500, you know what I mean, above whatever, that's fine. Dude, I went in there. The place is a freaking well-oiled machine. There's like a big a scroll of like who's next and the whole thing. There are like 50 desks, and they came and got me. And I said, "How does this work?" They said, "Well, we go through this, and we'll take pictures of your car and this." I'm like, "Does this like online offer actually mean anything?" It's like, "No, you'd be surprised." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure I would be." And so they bring me out. They take pictures of the car. They this. They bring me down to the thing, and I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? And then he's like, "Yeah, it looks right. About 24,400. That's going to be the appraisal." I'm like, Yeah, okay, sure. And then, well, it's just some paperwork that we have to deal with. So they call the leasing company and say, I'm just waiting for whatever. And just as they're about to tweet, what a great experience, they're like, ooh, I have to, what's this? I'm like, what do you mean? What's what? They're like, I got to talk to my manager. I'm like, okay, here we go. Right. And he comes back. He's like, no, we're all good. We'll get you checked. 1 hour in and out of there, completely like freaking clockwork. Okay, I went in completely jaded, expected to be just destroyed. It was the greatest experience of dealing with a car in my life. I'm telling you, I continue to run like freaking so hot right now, like in all things.
You know what, Chiefs? I'm flying out to New York. Forget Vegas. I'm skipping my Vegas trip. I'm going to New York and just hang out with you for a little bit.
If I could fade all the family issues, I mean that would be
the family issues. Yeah, we both have the family issues in common.
Right.
But you know what? Like those are separate. Like these other things are things. You're running.
I just responded to the email that you thank you for setting that up. We're gonna set up a phone call. I'm not even going to give, but I'm just going to say, dude, whatever I say, you should just do what I say anyway right now, because I'm literally like, I can't, whatever I say is just going to win. Forget about my past performance, forget about my process, forget about everything, whatever. That should be what I lead with. But anyway.
No, I love that.
I do have Jimmy Butler in a decent amount of FanDuel, actually.
So what are you thinking? Like, let's talk, because you've done such a great job. Like last night, I really think I'm going to take that clip of you talking about your process, about what you're doing with golf. That's an incredible clip. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong or whatever. It just it's a great clip of like what your process is.
Right.
Like what about your like single entry tonight? So like for your 777, what kind of things are you leaning towards? Like,
so it's the same. It's literally the same thing. The only thing is that, again, I just use the settings for the swish, and it just creates a different simulation. Now it's comparing your lineups to a different group, and a different type of thing. And then the only thing is with the swish, just because it's so much money, I'll actually like look at it, and just like and see if I actually like it. And that's probably a mistake, honestly, but that's sort of what I'm doing anyway. But the key also is that I'm just gonna have to just pay attention to the late swaps right now, and I think that's like really a big deal. Like I will show, like right now, like my
Can I say one thing about your late swaps in the past though? That one thing has worked out for you that doesn't work out for most people, and honestly, sometimes not swapping onto these late things. It's actually been beneficial to you at times where there's times where you won tournaments where you avoided like 75% ownership on a guy because you literally were, but it's like a reminder, you know what I mean? Maybe that's not always the thing. Like whatever.
In fairness, the ones I've really like smashed, like the most recent ones, I was literally at the computer like all night. Like right now, I could show you what the lineup is right now, and it might not even be this way, like at the end. So like this, I ran the thing, and I think this is my main lineup here in the Switch right now. That's why I asked about the Wilson, because
we're seeing your golf though right now.
Oh,
which I love, by the way.
I have it on.
I think you're barely ahead of me in that thing.
So I gotta do the entire screen, right? That's what I gotta do. So I mean, I just ran the same thing, and then this is what I get like for now, which is like three of the Timberwolves,
right?
2 of the Nets. It's like very pure looking, right? And then I'm just gonna probably see, what happens, with these Nets. I'll live with this. I'll live with Bridges and Wilson. That's why I asked you, by the way, about the Wilson. Just to throw it out there. If you said something like who, dark throw, whatever, maybe in like the 4, just because like you at least gave the authority of being like a play, like at all,
Yeah, no, and it is, but I also feel like I this is where it's probably been my biggest struggle in NBA lately, is that I can't deal. I do the same thing. I run the contest sims. I've been doing it that way, and I can't stand the idea of playing one lineup versus how many and not having a guy who's under 10% owned without leaving money on the. It's just a hard thing for me to swallow. And in the past, it was always a something that I really used to my advantage. I was right. I was right to take those chances. But like once a week, I would be winning at least 5K and something all the time in NBA. Now it's gone a different direction, and I'm having a hard time shifting away. And even you look at the winners, like you'll see winners of giant contests with guys all in the double-digit owned.
But what's kind of cool is this. So like right now, right now we're based on projected ownership, right? So we really don't know what these guys are going to be owned. We have an idea. So at 7:00, these games are going to go, and unfortunately I got exposure in this first block, so the Minnesotas and whatever. But what happens is, and this is what's kind of cool about this little break here, is that they will update ownership based on what these guys are actually owned. And it'll update ownership and it'll update projections of what these lineups are supposed to do. And so when I rerun everything later, I can don't have to play like Fox, Durant, and Collins. You know what I mean? As the other, it's going to depend on what the results are earlier. So like right now, yeah, I mean, it all looks pretty chalky, whatever. But this might change, So I don't know. That's just and that's just kind of just what I'm doing. That's best I can describe this. And this is a little scary to have too much exposure in this first game, but this first set. But who am I waiting for? I'm not waiting for the Bulls or the Warriors. San Antonio, I guess. I don't know. Oh, you disappeared. Or I disappeared. Bobby disappeared. There he is.
Sorry about that. That was so weird.
So yeah, so it I don't particularly not say like, but listen, having 4 or 5 guys in these first sets again, I think that's fine, because what am I really waiting for? San Antonio. I mean, I don't know. So that's where this is right now, and I'll probably one more time before 7 just do another projection update and just kind of rerun this stuff, and maybe it won't even be like this at all. But I wouldn't worry too much about. If you're going to use the Sims, I wouldn't worry too much about like the visually seeing like what you think it should be not 8% owned. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to then, because it's calculating that sort of for you. And remember, it's not just one player being 8% owned. It's like it's the total lineup. But maybe you're right. Maybe you need to like force in at least one play under 10%.
So Lonnie Walker. So wait, Lonnie Walker is not starting. Dennis Smith Jr. is starting.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to the average man? Specifically the Dennis Smith Jr. piece. Yeah.
What it means to me is I'm going to play Dennis Smith Jr. That's all I can say. I don't know about the average man anymore. I'm in on Dennis Smith Jr. That's all I know.
You sort of have to be, don't you?
He's been my guy forever. I can't get away from
it. This is not going to be the day that he smashes with you not having him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's not going to happen today. All right. So what does that do? Okay. So that makes, I still think Lonnie Walker is an awesome tournament play. Like he's going to get much lower ownership now. It's both he and Jalen Wilson, I think, will be really good tournament plays. I don't think that they're going to be projecting as well. I don't think people are going to be playing with them that much. Yeah.
I'm getting Jalen Wilson like a 19-point projection, maybe 18% owned.
Yeah.
What do you think Dennis Smith Jr. is going to get owned?
A lot.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you like this? Is this an updated projection? No, it can't be. Okay. So you probably want to switch. You probably get a swap in projections between Smith Jr. and Walker, right? I mean,
yeah, that's the natural thing. Like the thing is, they're different. The point guard versus shooting guard, small forward thing is a little bit of a thing. Only if you like Cade. Like I really like Cade. It's probably a little bit of a downgrade to Dennis Schroeder. Like, look, Schroeder could go nuts tonight. He's still a good play. Don't get me wrong. but it is a downgrade, I think, in terms of just pure usage and ball handling. So I would treat it as such. That's a big thing, I think. The problem is, so like the thing is they don't really have other shot creators on the first run offense outside of Schroeder. So before there's a question, I don't think I will play Lonnie Walker and DSJ together, but I think it's okay if you want to. I just personally am not going to.
Let me see something.
I would much rather play, and I would much rather play one or the other. And I would treat the same thing. I would say Zach Collins or Barlow. I would say Lonnie Walker or Dennis Smith Jr. And I would say Naz Reid. Well, most people are going to just play Kyle Anderson. I would say Naz Reid or Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. So now we're waiting on the Dennis Smith Jr. projection to update. That's what we're waiting on.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good.
Is he going to think it's going to be like 27, 28 maybe?
It'll be whatever Lonnie Walker's was. It'll probably.
That's what I figured.
Somewhere around there. He has more upside than Lonnie Walker does.
He has more upside than Lonnie Walker does. Yes, I think that's fair.
Schroeder, can I play Schroeder and him together? It feels wrong. Like it just feels so wrong to play the two of them together. But
dude, Staverson gave him a 30-32 ball.
Yeah,
that's Schroeder. No, that's Schroeder. Sorry. My bad.
That's all right. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be that much different. It's gonna be somewhere around 27, 28. I think he's a better play than Kyle Anderson. I think he's in. Okay, so let me just rephrase it. I won't play a lineup without him. If you're going to, then I would play Lonnie Walker, and I think you can play them together. But right now, I have the perfect lineup, and I can fit Schroeder in with Dennis Smith Jr. It just feels so stupid. Oh my god, and it allows me to get Fox too. Fuck. Instead of Butler. Oh, so gross. Ugh. Jimmy Butler not being in my main lineup is going to be the thing that drives me nuts tonight. If I lose.
Yeah, I guess Dennis Smith Jr. is a tough fade.
You got anything? You got any projections on him?
No, I just got something out in hockey, so I have to fix this.
I just can't figure out how it doesn't. Man, it doesn't even matter to me. I think he's the best play on the slate. Like, it's Detroit too. I think you can play he and Schroeder because it's Detroit, I guess. I mean, Schroeder gets there every day anyway. Like, it's not like you're taking a huge risk, I guess. Just feels stupid to play them together. But I guess it is what it is. And then you play Cade on the other side. I think my lineup just went to be too chalky. So now I've got to decide if I want to play as my one big pivot of the night. Well, I've got Naz Reid already over. Never mind. I've got Naz Reid instead of Kyle Anderson. So I think I'm okay in terms of ownership. But watch Naz Reid get like 50 at like 6% ownership.
It's very possible. But like you said, I mean, he usually takes the place of Gobert.
Yeah, but the problem is like he becomes the offensive focal point like
right.
A lot of the time. Like he's really good. He's a, Ugh. What if I did this? Keldon Johnson, no Schroeder. Wow, I've got 3 point guards. Oh my God. Okay, so all right, I'm just gonna read out my lineup to you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Cunningham, Bridges, Edwards, Kyle Anderson, Zach Collins, Dennis Smith Jr., De'Aaron Fox, and Keldon Johnson. That feels like a cash game build. That's like should be your cash game build.
It may be. I don't know. Cunningham might not be that popular.
I think he's going to be like 20-something%. And I think in single, like he's too cheap. I think the right thing to do is to make a 2v2 swap. And instead of Kyle Anderson, go Naz Reid. Just hold your breath. And instead of Mikal Bridges, go Schroeder. That's my decision. I'm sticking to it for this moment. I actually think that Dennis Smith Jr. hurts Mikal Bridges.
Just because of shots, you mean?
Yeah, like offensive usage. If Lonnie Walker was playing more of a catch and shoot, not necessarily an ISO guy, not a guy who's going to have the ball in his hands, like dribbling the ball a bunch, just more for like certain possessions and then catch and shoot. But Dennis Smith Jr. and Schroeder are both ball dominant guards, and Mikal Bridges is fine not being the dominant guy. This is my justification as well as my strategy tonight. So I'm sticking with it. I am unfortunately do not have Jimmy Butler over De'Aaron Fox because I don't need it to get different, but it feels stupid that I don't. I'm going to get him.
I'll tell you, it would be nice if they updated the projection.
Yeah, it would be nice. I actually like when I used to like when they don't because it gave me a little bit of a feeling. Yeah.
Let's see. Really closer to 7?
Sure.
Yeah.
I fall asleep soon.
Well,
It's fine. Come on.
MJ's going Fontecchio in your main lineup. I have no issue with it, except for I definitely wouldn't do it, but I'm totally fine with it. It's just not for me. I think Asar Thompson is an incredible. If you're not playing Cade Cunningham, which I am everywhere, but if I wasn't, I would be playing Asar Thompson. Yeah, DSJ is going to look like the best player, right? There's 51% now. I think it might be higher than that.
Sabersim update his their stuff yet?
No.
I'm looking at some other place they have them like 27 points.
Seems right. That's about what we guessed, right? 27. Yeah. Sorry, Pingalore. Like, I don't know if we're gonna like. I guess you could run that, but like, that's. I don't think it's really that relevant. Like the Smith and Walker, DSJ. Which Walker? Oh, Smith. Yeah, I don't think you should be playing Smith with Walker. Like you can, but I just think that like again, I don't think it's optimal, but. It'll be 27 or 28, like regardless. And again, there might be some sites that have him with like 30, and there might be some sites that have him with like 24. But it's going to be right around. It's going to be below Zach Collins, and right basically the same as Kyle Anderson. That's my guess. It has to be.
Yeah.
There's a bus path, but they're playing the Pistons. Like the problem with fading a play like that is like sometimes you can fade them and like the go play last night. Like 21 is not going to kill you, not having that or whatever. Whatever you think, you can tell your story of how they're only going to get whatever. But Dennis Smith Jr. might get like 50. Like that's not like off the table.
We keep saying that. Has he ever actually done it?
Oh, plenty of times. Okay. I've won. He won. This guy won the Rookie of the Year. And when he was playing with Dallas, and then even afterwards, when everybody was out, he does it. You can't do it. Like right now, they're missing. So like usually he has to compete with. They're missing. So they've got Whitehead, Thomas, Sharp, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons out, in addition to all the guys they got rid of. So there's really not like a whole lot else to contend with. Like it'd be very hard for me to see like a median projection, but like, yeah, he might score less than 28 fantasy points tonight. But there's also a really realistic chance that he gets 45 to 50.
Right.
Powers calling Ben Shepherd for 28 fantasy points tonight. I'd feel better if Ben Shepherd were starting. We don't know about that yet. Oh, I guess we do. He's not starting. I think he's kind of an interesting tournament play. I'm good with the Ben Shepherd dart.
Sure.
Why not? Yeah, and Kyle Anderson. Okay, so Naz Reid is going to be 0% owned. That's beautiful. I'm good. The slate doesn't need to be. I don't need to make other pivots, right?
Well, that's your thing. Remember, you said you want one guy that's
yeah,
10%. That's him.
Exactly. So I don't need to play Butler over Fox, even though it might cost me $100,000. Because that was my other big take, was Butler over Fox.
That'd be a pretty good play, though.
I mean, if you do both of those, like
it's not
big enough.
Who's Miami play? Dallas?
Dallas. In Dallas, where Jimmy's from.
I didn't know he's from there.
Maybe I get rid of Edwards. Maybe that's the way to do it. Does that work? Ugh. No, wait. Butler, Edwards. What about Edwards? So Edwards, Butler versus Edwards, Fox.
Both those are. How about all three of them? Can you do that?
That was my original build, but I haven't gotten back to it with this other stuff. Shit, man. There's something there, though. Halliburton at his price, too, it feels like a tempting thing. It's like, it just feels wrong to like click like Butler over, I guess more, it actually feels weirder to click it over Halliburton to me, even though I didn't love Halliburton tonight. It's just crazy his price.
Yeah, it looks like Dennis Smith Jr. is, even though I don't even have the full Saberson projections, it's not healthy. It's even going to matter. I mean, I already updated like the sheets without the Saberson ones. You're already the best play. I mean, like, I think just with the other sides even.
Yeah.
Plus a little, and like you said, he also has upside. You know what I mean? It's not like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a bus path there for sure. But it's, to me, it's pretty against Detroit. You're really playing with fire.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of annoyed. You know what? I guess I have some time. I have, 52 minutes to make my decision. 42 minutes to make my decision about the Jimmy Butler. I really have a good feeling about Jimmy Butler tonight. And it feels annoying to me that I'm not playing him. But I could play him over Edwards. I hate that though. I don't understand why Edwards' projection is as low as it is. Anybody who can bet on those things, just bet all the overs on Anthony Edwards. Maybe Jimmy Butler actually is a better play if I'm going to play Naz Reid already. Fuck. Oh my God, De'Aaron Fox just puts up 50 every game. It's like I need the performance from Butler to put up 50. He's put up 50 every game too.
Yep.
Shit.
Fade away. Build.
All right, I'll take a look and see if there's any questions because I'm struggling with this one. TJ Warren, where did that come from?
He plays?
Anytime he plays, I'm usually interested.
I didn't know that he still plays.
Where did TJ Warren come from? He's not even on the player list. Where did that come from, MJ? Oh, he's available. I don't even know what team he's on right now. I really feel bad for him. He got hurt like right after the pinnacle of his career. Where is TJ Warren these days? I don't even know.
What team is he on? Honestly, I mean,
I'm asking. Oh, he's on Minnesota. It actually does matter a little bit. Like he could play a little bit, which takes away a little bit from Kyle Anderson, and hopefully Kyle Anderson gets 2 quick fouls and Naz Reid goes nuts, and they ignore the TJ Warren is available. Guys, like in general, like Anthony Edwards. Okay, I just want to say like he should be the obvious spend up of the night, and he is. He's going to be higher owned in the higher buy-ins. Take that for what you will. I've played long enough to know 100% sure that Anthony Edwards will be higher owned in the higher buy-ins and lower owned in the smaller buy-ins. It's just a weird thing with him and Jimmy Butler for me. Like, it's so obviously him. But if I'm going to play Naz Reid in the same lineup, maybe it is Jimmy. I could play Jimmy and him instead of Fox. I really feel like Fox on the back-to-back feels trappy with the blowout risk. Maybe I should go with that. This 2v2 is going to drive me nuts no matter what. So that's it.
all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'll probably late swap into something good later.
All right, man.
Right now I am playing Dennis Smith Jr. though, so that's something.
All right. Good luck.
I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy, guys. Good luck.